Good morning, sir. Good morning, classmates. Today, I will discuss about the part of the Module 7 travel arrangements. Planning business travel. So, the next stage is for the admin assistant to plan the business trip. So, this is done using an itinerary. So, what is itinerary is? An itinerary is a plan of travel arrangements and also includes the following details. The first one is the dates of the business trip. The second one is important times the employee must note. So times are always presented using 24-hour clock. For example, the departure times, also the meeting times. The next one is reference for travel. For example of these is the flight numbers, the train numbers, also the home and address of car hire company. The next is the addresses and telephone numbers for travel and accommodation companies. So, before you leave, you must be ready to your travel place, just like taking a note of every telephone numbers, also the location address of the company. The last is the names of people employee in the meeting as the venue address and times. So, I must to know the names of the employee. For example, I must to do create a note of all employees that part of the meeting, also the address and time of the meeting. The importance of itinerary. The itinerary is essential in planning a business trip. So, what is the following reasons? Number 1, the employee schedule. The employee's schedule is in order and clearly states where he or she is expected to be and with each day. So, employee scheduling is important to all business. A well-planned schedule is necessary for the efficient operation of a business. So, if an employee comes to the travel and does not know what to do, it can affect his or her time because there is no proper schedule to serve his or her needs. The next is the people whom the employee. So, the people whom the employee is meeting with will be aware of other commitments and priorities and therefore plan their meetings to fit around the employee's busy schedule. The next is the admin assistant. The admin assistant has a copy so that the employee can be contacted at any time. So, if you don't know the number or company address, you must go to the admin assistant to help you. This is the 3 admin assistant prepares other travel documents to ensure that the employee is fully equipped for the trip. Number 1 is up-to-date passport, number 2 currency, and number 3 relevant maps. The next is the layout of itinerary. An itinerary could be presented in the following format. The first is the name that who is traveling. For example, I'm a traveler, so I write my name here. The next is the purpose of the trip. For example, I have an appointment and negotiation of my business partner. The next is the dates of travel. For example, today is my flight, so I write the date today. So the next is the time. So always presented in 24-hour clock, meaning you don't write a 12-hour clock. For example, 3 o'clock p.m. This is a 12-hour clock. The right is 15 o'clock p.m. The next is the details. This is provide accurate description of arrangement. For example, my flight detail. So, I write Philippine Pacific Airlines. The next is the comment. This is any additional information that is required, e.g. flight number or hotel address. So, example of mine is PPA 143. So, this is the layout of itinerary. The next is methods of payment. There are many payments required during a business trip. The first one is travel. Travel expenses must be a business related. Your travel must be primarily business related in order to be deductible. Leisure trips are never deductible. You can deduct travel expenses only if you are traveling away from home in connection with the pursuit of an existing business. The next one is accommodation. So, the part of accommodation is the budget. For business travel, the top priority is to find the right accommodation at the right price. The next is the food. After you travel, search for how much they should be spending per day on meal. Look at the restaurant near in their hotel or meeting space. The next is other expenses. Expenses like operating and maintaining a car, including the cost of gas, oil, washing, parking, and tolls. Also, the local transportation between the airport or station and a hotel, from one customer per another, or from one place of business to another. The different methods of payment available are currency, traveler checks, and credit cards. The first one is methods of payment currency. The admin assistant must ensure that the employee has some local currency when traveling to pay for any emergencies. For example, the employee was traveled to a company because they have an appointment but suddenly the private car breaks down and they need an extra money to take a taxi. The admin assistant can use the internet to check the exchange rate to find out the value of the local currency. Because to avoid additional fees, and the reason they charge so much because this is a hidden fee. Usually they do not disclose the fee, they just disclose the rate that you get to exchange. Additionally, it is important that the employee does not carry a lot of cash in case his or her wallet gets stolen or lost. The next is methods of payment, traveler checks. The employee is required to sign the traveler checks when he or she receives them, and whenever money is required, the employee takes the traveler checks to a suitable vendor and sign the amount of money he or she wishes to withdraw. Additionally, usually used by banks, they work as a guarantee of payment. This means the check can never bounce when you use it because you've already paid for it. Additionally, they were generally used by travelers instead of cash because of the added security they can offer. If a traveler check is lost or stolen, it can be cancelled and replaced by whoever issued it. The next is methods of payment, credit card. Many places around the world enable people to use credit cards in the automated machines in the wall, which makes it easy for cash withdrawals to be made. So it is easy to find an automated machine. It will depend on exactly where you are. So in the Philippines, in Metro Manila, there's no shortage of ATMs to be found in or near bank branches, shopping centers, and supermarkets. However, once you hit smaller towns and rural areas, you'll find ATMs few and far between, and you're far more likely to find that stores, restaurants, and guest house prefer cash payments. Additionally, a credit card enables the employee to pay for goods and service, and at the end of the month, he or she receives a statement showing how much they are due to pay. The employee can decide to pay the amount in full or carry over the debt to another month. So, the difference of credit card and checks is the purpose of a checks is that goods can be bought now and paid for at a later date. In short, credit cards are very secure and safe to use. There are protections for the purchaser against fraudulence and in some cases even poor consumer service. Additionally, most credit cards do not charge any interest if the balance is paid in full by the due date. The last is expense claim forms. Travel expenses, those costs that you have when you are away from home on business, can provide you with significant business expense deductions. The employee is entitled to claim back money that he or she spent for business reason during the trip. So, for example, taking a client out for the dinner. And second is the taxi costs from the hotel to the airport. In order to claim back the money spent, the employee is required to complete an expense claim form. The following information must be shown. The first one is personal details. The second one is the details of the business trip, including dates and purpose, etc. And the third is the exact cost of each expense. It is important that the employee can provide the finance department with all receipts so that cost can be verified. Assuming that you are traveling away, rather than half of the actual cost of your meals, laundry, cleaning, and tips, keep record of actual meal expenses, although you still have to keep records to prove the time, place, and business purpose of your travel. So that's all. Thank you.